So we have breaking news out of the California State Bar. I have been waiting on this news. I didn't want to make a video until it was confirmed. California has signed an $8 million contract with Kaplan to create a new California bar exam. Well, it's not really new. It's the same format. So for everyone getting worried, we're going to still have, as of today, 200 multiple choice questions, 5 essays, and a performance test. It's just that instead of the NCBE, who always creates the exam, we're going to have Kaplan now creating the exam. There's a lot of feedback going on online about this. Go to the California State Bar page and you'll see so many comments, a lot of conspiracy theories about potential litigation that's going to go on between the NCBE and the California State Bar, an indemnity clause that was within the contract. I am ignoring all of that for purposes of this video, but it'll be interesting to see what happens in the long run. I think Kaplan will be smart enough not to copy questions from the NCBE and create their own versions of multiple choice questions. So the California State Boards signed an $8.25 million 5-year contract with Kaplan for the company to develop a state-specific licensing exam to replace the national standardized test. 8.25 million sounds really low to me for a 5-year agreement to create this exam. The State Bar is saying that it is insolvent and is going to go broke by 2026, I believe, which is kind of like, what's going on? I think an audit is definitely coming soon to the State Bar because I know as an attorney, our yearly State Bar dues are exorbitant and they keep going up every year. Where is all the money going? And applicants have to spend, I think, over $1,000. I'm not sure of the exact amount, but a lot more than when I took the test to take the exam. So where is all the money going, State Bar? Time for a different video. The agreement authorizes Kaplan to create multiple choice essays and performance test questions. These are going to look similar likely to what we've been seeing for the last 20 plus years, and to develop study guides for faculty and students. The agreement will help aid the transition to remote and test center based exam administration. So that's a little broad. We know that likely the exam in the near future is going to be going remote only, with maybe in person being offered for those with accommodations only. Well, we don't know, so I don't like to spread any information until I know facts. But once the exam goes remote, of course, you'll have a lot of notice. I don't see this happening for February 2025, by the way. I don't see this exam being ready, or calling it new, but it's going to be in very similar format, I would assume, for 2025. I think that's a wide stretch. So if anything, we should see these changes being implemented maybe 26, 27. I mean, the next generation bar exam that is going to be administered by the NCBE, which is now replacing the UBE, I'm so happy California is not adopting it. I know a lot of states have. Other big states like New York and Florida just adopted it. It looks like a hot mess to me. I think it's going to be really confusing. And the scoring looks confusing. I mean, we'll see in the implementation of it. I don't think it's coming out, correct me if I'm wrong, until 2028. So a lot of changes, a lot of dates. But I'm really happy. I was a little concerned because it would be a major digression from the current format of the test. And I think that California is such a big state. We have almost 20,000 applicants that take the bar every year. So I'm personally, as an expert on this exam, really happy that California is not adopting the next generation bar exam and has contracted with Kaplan to stay within the gamut of the current format. So if you're taking the bar in 2025, I would not let this concern you. We're still going to have multiple choice. Are they going to look similar to what we've seen? Well, Kaplan has to be really careful right now. They have to make sure that their questions are not going to look like or copy, of course, for copyright reasons. We know that. The questions of the NCBE, the previous ones. We know that there was litigation with PMBR in the past on, similar issues. So we really want to make sure. I know there's an indemnity clause, or I think there is. I have not seen the contract, but I was reading on one of the comments. If you go to calbar.org, there's a lot of feedback going on. And I believe there was an indemnity clause in the amount of like 1.625 million for Kaplan, you know, to be protected in the event of any lawsuit. So that was kind of weird. Maybe the California State Bar is already anticipating that the NCBE would potentially sue them. But again, just theories, and I'm not here to spread misinformation. So what do we know for my current 2025 applicants? Are those thinking about taking the test next year or in 2026? We only know that the format right now is going to remain the same. Kaplan is going to be creating the test, and we'll have to see, you know, what the questions look like and the congruency and similarity once those samples are released. I do not think that that is going to happen in 2025. A remote test, I think 2025 is also going to be a little bit of a stretch. I think the earliest we will see a remote only exam is going to be maybe July 2025. So the preparation is different from a remote test to an in-person exam. If you know, you're worried about that, I totally understand. During COVID, we saw applicants really flourish with a remote format, and then those that had a really hard time with it. Regardless, you'll be trained, and of course my applicants will be ready either way. So there is going to have to be some pivoting going on right now. I'm sure other bar preps and even law schools are like, you know, we're all just kind of watching to see what changes are going to occur with the California bar exam. Don't forget that the California Supreme Court still has not ruled on the portfolio bar exam, but I would surmise that with this contract that just happened, the portfolio bar exam is likely not going to get granted, because why would the state bar enter into such a contract if they thought we were going to be replacing the exam or having a big alternative to it? I could be completely wrong though. So we'll wait to see what the Supreme Court has to say. I just wanted to hop on, I know it's a little late, and give a few words on what's going on and also calm any jitters for those taking 2025 and worry that this is going to be a completely different format. The only thing that really would change, of course, the look of the multiple choice. I hope they make the multiple choice questions easier, right? Sometimes they are just so long and convoluted, and I really do not believe, as someone that has been leading bar courses for almost 15 years, that it fits in line with this entry-level competent attorney standard. So I hope that they make the questions a little bit easier. I know I may get some pushback on that, or shorter at least, maybe not easier, but shorter, so they can really be met within the time constraint and mimic, you know, some timing on the essays and performance test, meaning that applicants can actually accomplish them in the allotted time. So I have more to say on this. If you have any additional feedback or questions, feel free to comment in the comments below. Have a good night, everyone.